Whoops.
And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome back the incredible, the wonderful, the one and only May Cobb, here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new red hot book, A Likeable Woman. May, welcome back to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this woman.
Thank you so much, Sara, for having me back. This is like one of the highlights of my tour. Thank you so much. I adore you. I'm so excited for yours. I can't wait. So soon.
Well, I'm so excited to welcome you back. This is a highlight of my whole summer, of my whole year. I adore you. I adore your books. And oh my God, woman, we got so much to talk about. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so this book, A Likeable Woman, it follows Kira, who's a 30-something woman, and she's fled her small East Texas town decades ago in the wake of her mother's mysterious death. And she was told by everyone it was a suicide. She never believed it. She and her mom, Sadie, were super close. They made art together. Her mom was kind of provocative, really chafing at the constraints of their small town. And she was about to have her first art show. And then she got, she died. And so she's only going back now because her frenemy is having a vow renewal party. And then her grandmother, this sort of like manipulative matriarchal character named Granny Foster, keeps texting her and saying, "Hey, I've got something of your mother's, something she was keeping in secret. And I think you're right about the way she died." So she's kind of beckoned and lured back to this small town called Longview, which is the town I'm from in Deep East Texas. And she, the minute she lands on Texas soil, she starts getting these sort of like ominous, threatening text about how she shouldn't be there. So that's kind of the setup. And it features A Likeable Woman features a book within a book, a story within a story. So this is not a spoiler because it's on the actual cover copy, but the thing that the grandmother has, the secret, is an unpublished memoir that her mother, Sadie, was writing. And it's called A Likeable Woman. And it's sort of her manifesto and almost like a letter to Kira across time about don't be a likable woman, don't settle like I have. And it holds clues as to what probably happened. And so Kira has to read it over the course of this weekend that she's home. And that's the setup.
Wow. And what a setup it is. Oh my God. I mean, we're talking mother-daughter relationships, secrets, a secret memoir. I mean, everyone wants to find that diary memoir, secret book of theirs that someone in their family is hiding. Oh my goodness. We have so much to get into, man. I can't wait to talk about it because I have so many questions and so many people have submitted questions in advance. So we got a lot to talk about. But first, just want to welcome everyone because we are going live to 7 different destinations right now across Facebook and YouTube. So hey, mystery and thriller loving friends, no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time. It is Mystery Monday, and because Mondays can be murder, we're going to make them a little less painful for you. So if you have questions for Miss May Cobb, get them going in the questions. I'll get them right over to her. Get the questions going in the comments, rather. If you're watching in a private Facebook group, because we do have 3 of those, the other members of the group can see you, but those outside of us cannot. You're saying very mysterious, very on brand. So we have a few of those going. Someone's saying, Sara and May, so good to join you tonight. Wendy, hi, Wendy.
Hey,
Welcome
Wendy.
to the conversation. We have Marcy McCreary joining us, saying, hi, Sara, hi, May. She says, I love the premise. So, May, let's start there. I loved the premise, too, and I loved the actual execution. How the heck did you think of this idea?
Yeah, so thank you guys both. But I was actually like driving from California to Texas during the pandemic because we had moved there. It didn't work out. So me and my husband and son were driving back across the desert, and I was in a literal desert of writing and kind of panicking about what my next book was going to be about because it was time to come up with something. And then what came to me was Sadie's voice very clearly. And when we pulled over in New Mexico that night to spend the night, I just started sort of transcribing what she was saying to me. And I think it was probably a couple of months later, I knew, okay, she's dead, but her story is still here. How do I want to tell it? And then the rest of it kind of fell into place. I knew I wanted to do like a more of a traditional mystery than I've done in the past, like closed circle, Agatha Christie style, where you're at a location and there's finite number of suspects. And I really wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do that, because I had never done that before. So that's kind of where it kind of grew from.
What a cool, backstory. And I love that you said you were in a desert of writing as you were driving across a literal desert, because greetings from the desert over here, the writing desert. And I love that this voice started coming to you. So when you were transcribing it, was it like your hand was flying as fast as the thoughts were going?
It was. And it was like, and then I sort of stopped and thought about maybe like the location and the premise. And then when we got home to our new apartment, it was just challenging. Like my son was, it was still the pandemic, so no childcare really. But at night when he would go to sleep, her voice was with me. So I would sit and sort of type out. I typed out a couple of early chapters and set them aside. And it was just hoping that it would turn into something. So thank goodness it did.
So May, let me ask you, because I personally am fascinated by creativity, what it is, what it really, where these ideas come from. So when you as a writer, when you hear the voice, and I have heard the voices of my characters as well, what do you think you're really hearing? What is that energy? What is that form? Is it divine? Is it your imagination? Is it, what the heck is it? What do you think?
I personally think that we're tapping into something that's out there. I really am of the Stephen King school that stories are buried fossils, and it's our job to extricate them as carefully as possible. And I love that book. I don't know if you've read it, Big Magic by Liz Gilbert. Yeah, I love that book. And she talks about that poet, I think her name's Ruth Stone, who would
literally grabs
literally
the poem by the toe.
Yes. Yes. So I feel like it's like that. I do feel like there's an energy, it's in the ether, and we have to sort of like tap into it and connect with it. And then it kind of takes over and it's smarter than us. Yeah, at least that's what I'm telling myself all the time. I'm like,
I love that. I don't know the Stephen King excavation theory, so I'm going to be Googling that after this. But I did read Big Magic, and I loved it, and I loved her analogy of ideas or energy, and they're sort of driving around. You're driving around as a taxi cab driver, and you never know who's going to get in the back.
Yeah,
so
yes.
This is who got in the Maymobile.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I love that you remembered, that Ruth Stone, it was like grabbing it by the tail, because that's how it feels sometimes. And it's like, if you don't get it down, yeah.
Yeah, and she actually had shared that she would sometimes be out working in her garden or out wandering the fields, and she would race back to her house and write it down, but sometimes she would only catch it by the toe, in which case she would write the poem down in reverse.
Which is so crazy.
At the end of it, which is
so crazy.
Really crazy.
Yeah.
We have a mystery user saying, May, Sara, May, love you both so much. Okay, I think this is a fire. So I think this is Fire Pit and Books, Miss Stephanie from California. I am guessing from your secret fire emoji. Christine, your fellow Texan, she says, hi, May. I'm in the middle of a likable woman, and I love it. Thank you, Christine. Thanks for joining us.
Christine. Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you here.
It's good to see you here. I think I saw you recovering from hip surgery. You keep up the good healing work, madam. Someone else saying, A Likeable Woman is a fantastic read. It's so great, right? Tell us what you love about it, because I know what I love about it. I have some questions too for May. I'm just scrolling through the rest of the comments here. May, let's get, Marcy saying, I found Big Magic very inspirational for story ideation. Yes, exactly. Christine saying, thank you, ladies. So great to have you. May, let's get into some of the amazing praise that this book has earned. So this was a most anticipated thriller of summer 2023 by Oprah Daily, by Buzzfeed, by SheReads, by BookBub, by PureWow by CrimeReads, and many, many more. It seems like on everyone's list, and all of the buzz that I've heard about it on the Bookstagram community and reader community. So May, when you see this coming in, does it feel motivating or does it feel like intimidating?
No, I'm so grateful for every hit, and every little ping of, oh my gosh, okay, it landed somewhere. I mean, publishing is hard. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's tough. So anything that comes in from anyone, anywhere, anytime, I'm so grateful for. And it's motivating as I head into edits on my next one to, just keep trucking.
Can you tell us anything about that next one, May?
Yeah, so it's my first book that I've written that's set outside of East Texas. Yeah, so it's a departure for me, and it's set in Hollywood, and it's kind of Rear Window-esque about a personal assistant. And it kind of Likeable was a little more serious for me and emotional, and this gets back to more my erotic thriller roots.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So May, we had, I want to get into some of the questions. Thank you for revealing something about your next book. And I'm so excited to read a May Cobb book set in Hollywood. I mean, this is so great. I want to get to some of the questions submitted in advance. So Mary says, May, this cover, I'm going to hold it up so we're going to look at it, is very different than your first two, which you had previously shared last year was by the same artist.
Yeah.
Tell us about this departure. Did you just want a whole new look? Did the publisher give us the skinny?
Yeah, the publisher really gets credit for it. I think that they, I think we all love, like me and the publisher, the first two covers, the Hunting Wives with the lipsticks and Summer Darlings with the cherries. But they wanted to do something fresh for the Summer Darlings paperback. So they did the women in the bikinis. And then for this, they wanted to stay sort of in that kind of brand.
Uh-huh.
And so I feel like it's great because when you line them up, they look like summer reads, beach reads. And that's really what I'm going for, with my books. I really just want this escapist beach read. I want a reader to be able to shut the world out and just escape into the cocktails in the book and the mayhem.
Escape into the cocktails and the mayhem is exactly my kind of escape. And it was so cool to see none other than the incredible Leslie Zemeckis doing her take on this from a pool in Italy. Tell us about that moment.
That was wild. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, my jaw hit the floor. I was so grateful. I mean, what an amazing recreation of the cover. She had the blue swimsuit and it was just gorgeous. I mean, it was like, pinch me.
Exactly. And pinch you indeed. Christina wants to know, May, do you think they will reprint Big Woods? Because it is the only one I have not read yet.
I certainly hope so. I do have the rights back. The press that had it out folded. And so I'm really, really hoping it can get back out there. It's only on Audible, but I would just love, that one is like my heart, and I really, I want my baby back out there. So I hope so, Christine.
Yay. Marty says she is not posing in a swimsuit when she starts reading this next month. Are swimsuits required for your books, May?
No, Marcy. Hey, you know what? I thought, I'm going to get in shape and I'm going to do some swimsuit posing with it. Yeah, that didn't happen. I have not gotten into my summer body yet. So I'm with you. No posing in swimsuits for me.
It did occur to me when I saw Leslie post that, I thought, oh my God, it would be so cool if she started this May Cobb challenge trend where we all sort of recreate it in different pools around the world. But then I was like, oh wait, then I'd have to no. I was like, oh wait, I don't want it.
Yeah, I know. It would be really cool. The amazing Maxwell Gregory bookstagrammer, bookseller. Her daughter recreated the cover too, like months ago. And I had the same, like, I squealed when I saw it and was just like, oh my gosh. So there's 2 out there and they're amazing.
Okay, the trend may still happen. Christine says, thank you for answering our questions, and she will download it. So thank you. Yay. So great to know that that is out there. Sharon, welcome to the conversation, saying, I can't wait to read this book, May.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yay. Let's get into some of the amazing praise that other authors have shared about your book. The first one I want to share is from May Cobb. And she says, a smart, juicy thrill ride full of scandals, lies, and manipulation, completely unputdownable. So high praise there from the New York Times bestselling author of Local Woman Missing, May Cobb. May, what do you think is the secret to putting together, creating a smart, juicy thrill ride, a book that is unputdownable? Because it's the worst when you sort of run out of steam in the middle of the book and you're like, I'll just take a break.
Gosh, I don't know. I wish I knew, but I was so happy to get this quote from Mary. I'm such a huge fan of hers. I mean, I think for me, I try to stay mindful of the scenes and the chapters. I'm a big fan of short chapters, but so I try to keep the pacing tight and keep things moving along. And I try just this old school trick of trying to end most chapters on a cliffhanger, if possible, or at least a moment. Those are my big, my big tricks that I use. Yeah.
Well, your books are totally unputdownable, and I'm also a huge fan of short chapters. So it's so cool to know that you are as well. Mary's not the only one. Geneva Rose raving sexy and suspenseful, with delectable prose that you will want to savor. That's beautiful praise there from the internationally bestselling author of The Perfect Marriage. Congratulations on that, May.
Thank you. Geneva's just the best. She's so supportive, and I love her books so much. Yeah, so happy.
I want to get into some of the other praise too, because so many people weighed in with beautiful praise. And I wanted to share this one from Oprah Daily, who says, bring on the backyard Chardonnay and rich, nasty housewives of East Texas, gossipy, glamorous, and hair raising. So now, May, you're moving on the next one from East Texas to Hollywood. Tell us about, why did you want to move it? Why did you want to remove it? Because I think everyone loves, is like, oh, May Cobb, I'm going to get like this, East Texas experience.
Yeah, it goes back to wanting to challenge myself to do something different, a little bit different with each book anyway, while sort of trying to stay into with what, I'm doing with kind of like juicy, sultry thrillers. But I lived in LA and I worked as a personal assistant for a couple of years. Yeah.
Wait, I did not know this about you.
Yeah. And it's because it was so long ago. It was like 20 years ago. And I worked for a lovely couple, the actress Lolita Davidovich and her husband, Ron Shelton. Yeah.
Oh my God. What? This is crazy, May Cobb. I had no idea.
Yeah. And it was such a great experience. They were so great to me. But then I thought, what if they hadn't been, or what if there was something more going on? And so I wanted to set something in LA because it's like, it can be very noir itself. Yeah. And so just the story kind of came to me. And it was, it was like, oh, should I really like take myself out of Texas? So it's different, but I don't know. I hope it works. We'll see.
I think it will. And LA is such a weird place. Very weird. Oh my goodness. You guys, the book is out now, and you can order it from our favorite woman-owned Texas-based bookstore. That is, of course, Murder by the Book in Houston, Texas. So no matter where you're watching from on Facebook or YouTube, here is the link. grab your copy of A Likeable Woman right now. So here is that link. Grab it and let us know what you think of the latest May Cobb juicy thrill ride, as Mary Kimika so accurately describes it. May, let's talk about your writing day. So I'm still thinking about that comment about the writing desert, because I spend a lot of time in that desert myself. What do you do when the desert is just looking like an endless Sahara and the words aren't coming? The idea of ever finishing feels like a mirage. Tell us about that. What do? Do you walk away and take a break? Do you push through button chair and you're not getting lunch or a sip of water until the words come? What tell us about that?
Yeah. So for me, if I have the idea and I think I'm just sort of scared to start writing and be committed to it, I kind of force myself to start writing, and I try to get to page 50, before I throw my hands up. And I'll do some tricks. Like I'll maybe write for 20 minutes. I'll set a timer and I'll make myself stay off social media and I'll write, and just, even if it's a paragraph, and then I'll get up and I'll go for a long walk. And usually that'll unlock something. And so I carry like my iPhone with me and I take notes, on the notes app. And then and sometimes I'll dictate them like through the voice, whatever. And then I'll email those to myself if it's something. And, even if it's just a paragraph or an idea for a scene, I'm like, okay, all is not lost. Those are my big hacks for that. I also have to say that I work with a freelance editor for each book, an outside editor. And I don't know that I could have stayed on this book a year track without her support. So, I'll have an idea, we'll talk it through. And then as I start writing, I'm usually like, oh, I need to write by myself. I don't want to send you anything. But once I get about 20 pages in, I'm like, okay, will you look at it? And then we do the whole draft like that. I might send her one chapter. I might send her 4 if they're all linked up, and she'll give me her thoughts and notes. So I have that accountability and that motivation. And without that, in this, pandemic and slightly post-pandemic, and then when it's not even out of the pandemic, but whatever times that we're in, I couldn't do it without her.
And has it been the same editor for all? It's your same person?
Yes. I started working with her with The Hunting Wives. And so we've done now 4 books together. That includes the one that's in edits. And we're hopefully going to get going on the next one when I'm done with edits,
So May, you shared that Sadie's voice came to you while you were driving across that desert. Is Sadie your favorite?
She is. Yeah. Sadie is based a lot on my own mother. And and my mom is, still with us and everything, but my mom is my best friend. We're very simpatico. My mom, like Sadie, was a very sort of out of the box person in our small town, kind of broke all the rules, didn't really care too much about what people thought of her. But she was a mother of 3 and then a single mom, working nights at the hospital, but she still would like squeeze art into her life in the same way that Sadie does. She makes batiks like Sadie does. She paints, and she kind of does it all. She's also a writer. So I wanted to tap into that. Like, what would happen if I lost her like that at that age? And also, kind of go into the whole question of likability and female characters.
Because you write in all of your books very complex women who some might say aren't likable. And I think that's so important because there's so much pressure to be likable on women.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And that's the hill I'm going to die on, because to me, it's endlessly fascinating that it literally never comes up when we talk about male characters.
Yeah.
And for women, the backlash that sometimes I get, I'm a little stunned. I'm like, y'all didn't even have issue with the actual murderer, and then you're worried about someone like cheating on their husband. Like, really? It's so weird.
Why do you think that is?
The patriarchy.
Yes, yes, interesting. Yeah, totally, totally. Because we do cut a wider berth for morally complex or even badly misbehaving male characters. If he's damaged somehow, that's more adorable. But
Exactly. Yes.
but if a woman steps even one iota outside of those very narrow boundaries of acceptable, likable female behavior, then that is very problematic.
Yeah.
Mm, mm. Marcy saying, I love unlikable female characters as they are well as they are well nuanced, and you do that well, May. Yeah, so that's a really great point. Your characters are nuanced. They are complex. How do you balance that? Do you ever think to yourself, oh, she's a little too scheming, she's a little too evil? I mean, not that you write evil women, but what do you ever have to tone it back?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to learn and grow a little bit in that, because I mean, like, maybe fair enough with the hunting wives. I mean, they were crazy. So and I think for like a character like Margot, I mean, it's tricky because with some of those, I wasn't in their POVs. But I have tried to write more grounded women that, are more relatable, that maybe aren't yeah, that you can, so I think it kind of comes back. What I try to do is, okay, maybe she doesn't have to be likable, but she has to be relatable. Maybe the reader wouldn't make that same choice, but they have to understand why she's making it. So I do try to spend a little more time on that, just so I'm not turning off a whole readership of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Someone saying, one of the many reasons it's such a fantastic read is that it's a departure from the other works, and it demonstrates May's versatility. My favorite reason is that it resonated with my mom. She saw herself in Sadie.
I think this is Carrie. Carrie, if this is you, thank you so much. Carrie Calvert is one of my favorite bookstagrammers. And if it's not whoever this is, thank you. I'm so glad that Sadie resonated.
Reveal yourself, mystery friend, if you dare. Carrie Calvert is a name I know well from the Bookstagram community. He is everywhere, and I saw he was at your event. And your event with Riley Sager. He says, yes, it's him. It's him. Yay, Carrie, welcome to the conversation. He is everywhere, and Carrie, it's always such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's so fascinating to know that your mom saw herself in Sadie. Now we know that Sadie is based on May's own mom, who's also her best friend. I love that. And that you're so in tune with that mother voice, yourself also being a mother. That it's resonating. That's really cool to know.
I know. Now I'm like, okay, so my mom and his mom clearly need to meet, which will probably happen because like we live kind of close to each other. So
yay. I would love that. I would love that. I want to talk about, so the Library Journal said Cobb's story delves into the secrets and seething tensions that exist in small towns. The final twist is nicely done. Let's talk about that final twist without actually talking about the final twist, May. Do you plot? Do you pants? Did you always know the twist? Did it come to you? Did it change? Give us the skinny on the twist.
Yeah. So normally I don't know at all. But for this one, I did. I knew it from the beginning, which was interesting. So, I did my best, to make sure that it actually was a twist. I don't do a ton of plotting, but I did try to do a little more conceptualizing this time from the outset to make sure that, there was a fair number of suspects of who it could be. I tried to make as many red herrings as possible. So yeah, we'll see, what people think.
Well, I think people are loving it so far. And I'm sure that will only continue to grow. The book only out for 6 days now. Congratulations on that. And I just want to share the buy link one more time. Y'all, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, no matter where you're watching from, here is that link. Order May's book right now, and the good folks at Murder by the Book will ship it out to you first thing tomorrow, so you too can get your hands on A Likeable Woman, and let us know what you think of it and which character you resonate the most with. Are you a Kira, going back to learn the secrets of her mom. Are you a Sadie? Are you a little of both? Tell us, or maybe, tell us who you resonate with the most. Here is that link. Click and pre-order no matter where you're watching from. May Cobb, it has been a pleasure hosting you again. And now that I know you're on a 1 book a year schedule, I will look forward to hosting you next summer as well.
Thank you so much, Sarah. This was such a joy. I just thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, it is always a joy to both spend time in your pages and to spend time with you on the screen. Y'all, this is a Likeable Woman, and this has been May Cobb. Christine saying, thank you, ladies. Christine, such a pleasure to have you. Thank you for spending time with us as well. Y'all, I'll be back at the top of the hour with Miss Samantha Downing. Go get a drink, get a snack, and come back then. Wendy says, thank you, ladies. Marcy saying, great interview. Looking forward to reading both of your books. Thank you so much. Someone saying, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, friend. And I will see you at the top of the hour.